It's still there. We don't own it any longer. Matter of fact, it was just sold a year ago.
At 91, Shirley Jones still laughs like she's keeping Hollywood's best secrets. That silvery voice, soft, teasing, a little wicked, carries the sparkle of a bygone era. Once America's sweetheart, now she's the last witness to a time when men wore charm like cologne and flirtation was an art form. When asked which of her co-stars truly made her heart skip, Shirley doesn't hesitate. She leans back, eyes glimmering with mischief, and says, "Oh, honey, I've earned the right to confess a few things." Then, with a grin, she begins to count. 1, 2, 3, each name a memory, each man a story of allure, laughter, and temptation. 7 men, 7 irresistible reasons to remember Hollywood's golden age, not just for its movies, but for its men. So, who tops her list of unforgettable charm? The first name on Shirley Jones's list was pure sunshine Robert Redford. Even now, her eyes soften when she says it. He was charm without trying. She smiles. You could feel the room change when he walked in. Redford wasn't the loud, polished kind of star. He was quiet brilliance, thoughtful, gentle, and so effortlessly magnetic it almost felt unfair. He didn't need grand gestures or smooth lines, just a glance, that slow half-smile. And suddenly every woman forgot what she was saying. Shirley remembers him as sunlight in human form. A man whose confidence came from kindness, not ego. He didn't perform charm, he was charm. To her, Redford was the last of the true gentlemen, thoughtful, gracious, and endlessly decent, the kind of man who made you believe goodness would never go out of style. But before Redford ever stole the spotlight, another man did, tall, handsome, and impossibly kind. His laugh could melt even the toughest day on set. His name? Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson. The very name still makes Shirley Jones smile. He was as kind as he was handsome, she says, her voice softening with memory. On screen, he was the perfect leading man, tall, charming, that deep laugh that could turn an ordinary day into something brighter. But off-screen, he was something rarer, gentle. Rock never made you feel small, Shirley recalls. Even when he towered over everyone, he made you feel seen. He carried a quiet warmth, the kind that didn't fade when the cameras stopped. To Shirley, he wasn't just handsome, he was safe, real, and deeply human. He made people feel better just by being there, she says simply. In a world of competition and egos, Rock Hudson was proof that strength could come wrapped in kindness. And as Shirley finishes his story, she lets out a laugh, lighter, playful, because the next man on her list didn't need kindness to be unforgettable. He had Cary Grant's kind of magic, the kind that made every conversation feel like a secret. When it came to elegance, no one touched Cary Grant, and Shirley Jones knew it. He didn't just enter a room, she laughs. He glided into it. Cary was sophistication made human, the perfect suit, the polished charm, the wit that sparkled just enough to make you blush. He could have read a grocery list and made every woman in America swoon, Shirley says, shaking her head with admiration. His voice, that low, teasing tone, could turn a simple hello into an invitation. And yet, beneath all that glamour, he was gracious. He made conversation feel like dancing, she remembers. You always felt like you were in on a secret no one else knew. To Shirley, Cary wasn't just debonair. He was kind, proof that class and warmth could coexist. She chuckles softly, eyes glinting with nostalgia. He made romance feel effortless. But the next man on her list, Paul Newman, didn't have to try to be charming either. He just was, The mere mention of Paul Newman makes Shirley Jones light up. Those eyes. She sighs. They should have been illegal. But his beauty wasn't what stayed with her. It was his decency. He didn't dominate a room, she says softly. He elevated it. Paul was the rare kind of man whose confidence came from humility. When he spoke, he looked right at you, not past you, not through you, at you. That simple sincerity made every word feel personal. He had a strength that wasn't loud, Shirley recalls. It came from kindness. He was funny, too, the quiet kind of humor that lingers longer than any punchline. To Shirley, Paul Newman was proof that a man could be breathtaking and good in equal measure. His heart, she says with a wistful smile, was as strong as his jawline. But just when you think her list couldn't get any more dazzling, she laughs, that silvery, wicked laugh, because the next man wasn't just charming. He was the kind who could make every woman in the room believe she was the only one. James Garner. James Garner. The name alone makes Shirley Jones's smile soften. He was the kind of man Hollywood doesn't make anymore, she says fondly. Handsome, yes, almost unfairly so, but it was his warmth that stayed with her. He had this quiet confidence, she recalls. The kind that made you feel safe just standing next to him. On set, Garner had a way of lifting everyone's mood. His humor wasn't loud, it was sharp, kind, and timed just right. He could make a whole crew laugh between takes. Shirley laughs. And he never had to try. What she remembers most wasn't the looks or the fame, it was the decency. He treated everyone the same, from the stars to the extras. That kind of grace, she says, doesn't fade. He made you believe in goodness. Her voice lingers on that last word, goodness, as if savoring it. Then her eyes sparkle again, mischief returning, because the next man on her list had a different kind of charm, a voice that could silence a room, and a gaze that made time stop. His name? Frank Sinatra. When Frank Sinatra walked into a room, the world adjusted its rhythm, and Shirley Jones felt it every time. You couldn't work in Hollywood and not have a Sinatra story. She laughs. He didn't try to be magnetic, he just was. His presence changed the air. The chatter softened. The lights seemed warmer. Dressed to perfection, cigarette in hand, that half smirk playing on his lips. Frank didn't need to speak. One look, and your heartbeat skipped. He had this power, Shirley remembers. A mix of danger and tenderness, like he could ruin you and rescue you in the same breath. When he sang, it wasn't performance, it was confession. Every lyric felt personal, every note like a secret whispered just for you. He wasn't just singing the song, she says. He was the song. And though his charm was unmatched, Shirley's eyes twinkle as she leans in. Because the next man on her list wasn't the kind who stole the room, he conquered it gently, with a smile that could stop the world. His name was Gordon MacRae. For Shirley Jones, it all began with Gordon MacRae, her very first leading man, and the first to ever make her heart race. Oh, Gordon, she sighs, the name itself a melody. My first leading man, and what a man he was. They were both so young then, filming Oklahoma and Carousel, two wide-eyed dreamers standing on the edge of stardom. He was tall, handsome, with that baritone voice that could shake the walls, she recalls, smiling softly. When he sang, the whole world seemed to pause. Gordon was charm without arrogance, strength without cruelty. Between takes, he'd crack jokes just to make her laugh. And when he did, the entire set lit up. He made you feel safe, Shirley says. Even when the cameras rolled, it never felt like acting. It felt real. For her, Gordon wasn't just a co-star. He was the beginning of belief. In romance, in chemistry, in the magic of connection. And now, decades later, that belief still shines in her voice. Because for all the men who followed, Gordon MacRae was where the story began, and perhaps where it never truly ended. As the laughter fades and the memories settle, Shirley Jones leans back with that familiar, mischievous smile, the kind that made America fall in love with her decades ago. 7 men, she says softly, each of them unforgettable in their own way. Her voice trembles with affection, not regret. These weren't confessions of scandal, but of life, moments of warmth, admiration, and the kind of chemistry Hollywood doesn't make anymore. At 91, she isn't chasing nostalgia, she's celebrating it, because these names, Redford, Hudson, Grant, Newman, Garner, Sinatra, MacRae, aren't just men. They're fragments of a golden age, reminders of when charm meant decency and romance had grace. And as Shirley's laughter lingers in the air, one thing becomes clear. Legends don't fade. They simply glow a little softer with time. If you believe some stories are too beautiful to be forgotten, subscribe to Timeless Confessions, where Hollywood's greatest hearts, scandals, and untold secrets come alive once more. Because the magic of yesterday still whispers, if you're willing to listen.